How about this Gamecocks basketball team? What is going on, everyone? And welcome back to yet another Canadian Cock Talk on the Spurs Up Show, the home of the best Gamecocks content on the internet. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, this Gamecocks basketball team is starting to heat up. First SEC play game against the Texas A&M Aggies. The Gamecocks take this one home 78-54 with the big win at Colonial Life Arena. This team's heating up, man. Especially after the game against the other A&M team, the Florida A&M Rattlers, going into this and playing this Aggies A&M team. I like this performance a lot better, and this is a conference win. This is an SEC win. This is going to go towards our conference record. To win in this fashion, I think says a lot about our program. I think it says a lot about where we are headed for the rest of the season and just how this basketball season is going to shape up for the Gamecocks. Before I really get into the game, I feel like there's something I gotta say because this is Canadian Cock Talk and I'm Canadian. A huge shout out. I know most of you might not even care about this. Most of you probably didn't even watch this, but I gotta give a shout out to the U.S. World Juniors men's hockey team for taking home and beating Canada in the gold medal game. To you guys in the States, it's probably just another gold medal in the many, many, many different ones you win in all different kinds of sports. But in Canada, hockey's our bread and butter, and for us to lose, it really sucked here. But congratulations to the Americans for taking that one home. They played hard. They've won fair and square. So to you guys who probably watch Cock Hockey, because I know that the Gamecocks hockey team has quite a following for a team in South Carolina, at least from what I'm used to up here in Canada for hockey teams. You guys could love hockey down there. I just don't know. So congratulations to the American World Junior team for winning that gold medal and beating Canada. It hurts me a bit, but gotta say congratulations. Now let's get back to Gamecocks basketball, beating the Texas A&M Aggies. Sticking on the same note of Canadians, there's a Canadian in mind that I think we all need to talk about and appreciate. A Canadian that put up 30 points in this game. A Canadian that had 5 rebounds, 2 assists. A Canadian that shot 10 for 22, 3 for 9 beyond the arc, and went 7 for 8 at the free throw line. Of course, I speak none other than Mr. A.J. Lawson from Brampton, Ontario. A.J. Lawson, man, this guy is heating up. We have found a star in that Gamecocks locker room, and he is really emerging now. We knew he had the talent in him the last couple years to be that star. We hadn't seen that next step, just adding on to the career high. He sets a career high last night, or on Saturday, putting up 23 points. Adds to that, makes a new career high, putting up 30 points in this game against Texas A&M. Man, I gotta find a way somehow to get, because we got some good Canadian basketball players with the Gamecocks program. We had A.J. Lawson now. We had Dwayne Notice, who closed the Florida game for us back in 2017 in New York, beating the Florida Gators with that dunk. One of the best Gamecocks moments I've ever had. I got to find a way to get these guys on the show or anything. So if any of you guys know either Dwayne Notice or AJ Lawson or any other Canadian Gamecocks to do a show called Canadian Cock Talk, I feel like it is my duty to be able to get them on the show. So that would be amazing for me. If you guys know anyone or whatever or have any connections, definitely let me know, because there's nothing more than I want to have some Canadians on Canadian Cock Talk. I think that would be amazing. Unbelievable game for AJ Lawson, man. He is our guard. He is our star player. He is the guy who is going to lead us in points for most of the games in this season. Played a total of 33 minutes, and he made every single one of those minutes count, and he was just on fire tonight. Not missing a shot. He was on fire, putting up 30 points. Love to see him keep building on that. I'd love to see by the end of the season him having some 35 plus point game. I think that would be, it's definitely a realistic goal for AJ Lawson in my opinion, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see with the rest of the season. Talk about our other guard, who we really have found a duo with this guard position for the Gamecocks, and Jermaine Kuznard, obviously a big freshman last year. He played amazing in this game, putting up 15 points. He went 5 for 11 from the three-point line. Very good at the shooting threes in this game. 5 for 15 from the field, 0 for 2 in free throws, but he did have 6 rebounds and 4 assists in this game. He played a total of 34 minutes. Big game from Jermaine Kuznard. That right there, between our starting guard duo, you have 45 points. 45 total combined points in this game. Unbelievable game for those two guys. If we're able to have our guards put that up every single game, and just to have guys like Levesque and Minaya, guys like that, and McCreary follow with just a decent amount of points, we are going to win some basketball games. I can guarantee you that. The guard play has been very, very, very good for the Gamecocks. Not to mention, Lawson had 2 steals and Kuznard had 1 steal. This team is starting to heat up. These guards are leading our basketball team, which is really, really good. Another guy, one of my favorite players on this Carolina basketball team, a guy that plays with such heart, and it shows because he is able to get this team the ball back into our offense's hands and set up new plays because of his presence on the offensive glass. Not necessarily his height at all, but just the aggressiveness and the effort that he is able to constantly put up in these Gamecocks games. Justin Minaya, 5 offensive rebounds for the Gamecocks, 3 defensive. That's a total of 8 rebounds, and of course, always leads the Gamecocks in assists. He had a total of 5 assists in this game for the Gamecocks. Justin Minaya, another amazing game from the guy who, in my opinion, shows the most grit, an amazing defender, just a guy that you love to see play well because you know the effort that he puts in every single time he touches the court. Justin Minaya, absolutely amazing game from him. Weldon Levesque, man, he's really starting to be a presence in the paint. He's really starting to become the player that I want him to really be last year. I remember I was at the Stetson game watching that. That was the first time that I really remember seeing Weldon Levesque hit the court for a legitimate amount of time, and he came into that game and he actually played very, very good for the Gamecocks at that point, just giving us a big presence in the paint. He is our tallest player on this team. Would love to see some more of that. He had 6 rebounds in this game, no assists sadly, but he did shoot 2 for 3 at the free throw line for us, and he had 1 big block I remember in that game. Justin Minaya also had 2 blocks. I forgot to shout that out. Jayla Mccreary, 6 points in this game. He had a monster dunk. He had a big steal I remember in this game. He had 2 blocks in this, or no, he had 2 blocks in this game. He didn't have any steals, but 1 assist, 9 rebounds from McCreary, leading the team in rebounds in this game. Of course, he's our tallest player on this team. Other than Weldon Levesque, you got to have a big presence in this game. So it's looking good that our 2 guards and our 2 big men are playing really, really well. 2 guys that struggled in this game. Seventh Woods obviously had many, many turnovers. He had 6 turnovers in this game, and Trey Hannibal with 3 turnovers. Trey Hannibal's had a rough last 2 games. He's a guy, he's honestly one of my favorite players on this team. I love the way he plays. He plays very hard as well. Like, he'll go out there and he'll put 110% effort on the court. It's just sometimes he gets, I don't know what happens. He just gets too loose with the ball and just turns it over. I'd really like to see him tighten that up a bit. When he gets going, he could be a really key guy for off the bench coming off for the Gamecocks to come in and help this team when, let's say, our starters aren't doing that well, our guards aren't doing that well. He's a guy that could come in and have a big game. Obviously, we don't have Keyshawn Bryant in this game. He or TJ Moss, they are both out, I think, still due to COVID. But man, like, these guys that we had tonight did more than enough to win this game, and I was very, very pleased with what we had from these guys. Let's take a look at some of the Texas A&M stats, because in my Canadian Cock Talk preview of this game, I talked about being able to shut down Miller in this game, Emmanuel Miller. He had 28 points in this game, so that was an awful lot of points, but the thing is, we did let him score a lot, but we did not let the other players on Texas A&M score a lot. The other guy, I think Quentin Jackson, had 13 points in this game, and then other than that, you had Robinson 6, Gordon 3, Chandler 2, Aku 1, and McGee 1. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Apart from Emmanuel Miller and Quentin Jackson, you had no scoring presence at all for Texas A&M, which really shows that our defense was really able to tighten it up, really able to get the ball back into the offense's hands and get some good turnovers in this game. Tons of forced turnovers in this game. Texas A&M turned the ball over 19 different times in this game, so that was very, very good for us. Some other team stats that I want to point out in this game: points off of turnovers for the Gamecocks, 21 points. Points in the paint, 34. I think that that's a huge stat. Putting up 34 points in the paint for the Gamecocks is huge. We really need to get our presence in the paint felt and a lot more heard and scarier, so we can open up the perimeter. Because let's say, like, when AJ Lawson was getting hot in this game at the 3 line, or Jermaine Kuznard, we started to put up some points. So open up the perimeter, get some more presence in the paint. I think that is definitely improving for the Gamecocks, especially off of last game. Second chance points, 20 points in this game. I think that was absolutely huge. 17 offensive rebounds, 17 rebounds on the glass offensively for the Gamecocks. Huge there. Able to get the ball back able to get second chance points. That's absolutely huge. It's just, sometimes it's as simple as just working harder than the guy who you're lined up against, working harder than your opponent, because there are times when the other team think that they just have an easy rebound. There's some times when you have that big 6'10 guy, 6'9, 6'11 guy who thinks that all he has to do is put his arms up, doesn't need to leave the ground, and he's got that rebound. just go out, tip it from his hands. Just put in the extra effort, tip that ball up, and you never know who's going to be there for your own teammates to come up with that ball. And just like that, you got the ball back and you're able to put up some more points. So that was huge for the Gamecocks in this game. The Gamecocks, after travel to Oxford, Mississippi to go take on the Ole Miss Rebels. We all know what happened last year. Ole Miss got the best of us. That was really the start of the decline for this Gamecocks and really diminishing our chances at that NCAA tournament. This is a big quad 1 or quad 2 game. I'm not sure where Ole Miss is in the net currently right now. If they're top 60, this is a quad 1 game. I'm pretty sure if they're top 120, this is a quad 2 game. So it's going to be at least a quad 2 game. But I think that the Gamecocks really should be able to have a chance in this game. ESPN matchup predictor right now has Ole Miss at a 74% chance, the Gamecocks at a 26%. But if the Gamecocks go out and play the way that they did in this game, I think that the Gamecocks will be just fine in this game. But I want to warn Gamecock fans about this game. Yes, we did play an amazing game. Yes, it was really fun to watch. Be optimistic, but don't be cocky. Obviously, as a Gamecocks fan, you should always be cocky, but there's another type of cocky that you do not want to be, especially in this scenario right now where we're just coming off of 2 wins. One was a very close win against Florida A&M, and one was a good win against Texas A&M. There's no reason to get cocky right now. We do not want to get let down. So just a warning to Gamecock fans. Be optimistic about this game. Feel good going into the next game. But do not think that should be an easy win, an easy markdown W going into this game. Especially for the team. I hope that the team treats this game exactly like how they treated this game. And that's where I think you will find success. Ole Miss should be a very good game. That game starts at 6 o'clock. The tip-off is at 6 o'clock on January the 9th. This is this Saturday. Cannot wait for this game. It's going to be a good one. Should be an amazing game to watch. And just more Carolina basketball. What could you ask for? With football done and everything, all we got is Carolina basketball, men's and women's. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for sticking around for this Canadian Cock Talk. I appreciate it. Definitely come back next time.